Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Marmaloo. I'm going to be going over last week, once again, from Wednesday, Thursday, and the couple of matches that happened earlier this week. So, first one, Ford Gaming versus Not Interested. If you didn't see it, it was a 5-0 for Ford. Very convincing, and big performances from the big three of Ford, Sandblast, Yosh, and Sai. And they pretty much cement their spot in playoffs. They have the head-to-head over Not Interested. The only way I think a team can make playoffs over Ford is if Space Pirates beats Ford, and then Ford probably loses to Cafe as well. But it has to be something like that. And then Space Pirates has to beat Not Interested, maybe beat Cafe. I haven't looked into the numbers, but this is really helping them to cementing a playoff spot. And the next one is Ford versus Ascent. Once again, pretty convincing, but Ford didn't have Sai for this match. Don't know why, but they had May instead, and they still took 2 rounds off. Not bad. And yeah, they still played pretty well, but they didn't have one of their best players. And for that reason, they only got 2 rounds. I think they probably could have taken 3, maybe 4, maybe even the match, but not having Sai is a big deal. So the next one, let me just close it. Next one, Froyo versus Cafe Monster. This happened the other day, and it was a 4-1 to Froyo, and it was expected. I think that's what I put. I think I got a few of these predictions right. Let me see. I wrote them down. Didn't get that right. I got that one right. Wait. Yeah, I did. Okay. Got this one right. Got that one right. This hasn't happened yet, but I did change my prediction. But, so yeah, they took a 4-1, and what I saw from the match, AIM was playing Inji, Garbuglio was playing Sniper, but solid performance from Banny, Yomps, and Eric, winning them that game on Viaduct. Pretty big win for them, number 3 seed. Showing it that they are still up there. Next one is Dunk versus Not Interested. This actually has a bit of a story behind it. I was watching it. It was a 5-1 in favor of Not Interested, but it was 1-1, if I'm not wrong, when there was 15 minutes or so left. And they got back capped with Shiny, who lagged out on Inji in spawn, and the scout just ran to point while Shiny was just lagged out in spawn. Couldn't stop it. And then, so they paused, and then they unpaused with 5v6 on the next mid. For some reason, I think Shiny probably said, I'm coming in, and then his game crashed again or something. But he wasn't there, so they go to mid without Uber because they weren't healing before they paused. But Ninja Nick was, and Not Interested, not knowing that Dunk didn't have Uber, took an Uber exchange. Even though it was a 5v6, they did take an Uber exchange, and there was no Uber to exchange on the side of Dunk, so they just lost that round 5v6. And just half ends 3-1 in favor of Not Interested, and couldn't really come back from that. It was pretty rough. And yeah, I wouldn't blame Not Interested for that. They didn't know that Dunk didn't have Uber. From what I saw, I don't think Dunk typed in chat at all. They didn't wait for their 5th player, so that's really on them. And next match was Excellent Theory of Dunk versus Edhead. I was watching this the other day. It was a 5-2 for Dunk. It opened up looking like a really good game for Edhead. They led 2-0. They were looking strong overall. But then Dunk, they came back in the half. Ended up winning 5-0 after getting 2-0'd. And it was a really good comeback. They got almost all the full Uber ads or the Uber ads into last. They almost got 100% conversion, I think. They had a really good job doing that. First half, it was a bit rough, but they definitely fixed some things and just got every last push right. Came back 5-0. Mac, Phone, and Shiny having good games. I'm expecting that from Phone and Shiny, but really good game from Mac. Coming back from that was crucial. And the last one was Space Pirates versus Cafe. This one was, I predicted it, and from what I understand, Cafe won the first half 3-0. I didn't see the majority of the game. I saw about the second half, like the second half of the second half. And they were up 3-0, and Space Pirates came back. They 2-0 leading the half, but some big shots from Moo and other players. They dropped Sky on last with a shot through the dispenser. It was crazy, and they ended up cleaning it up 5-2 for Cafe Monster. So, now that's over. We're going to be getting into this next week. So, first match that we have is going to be Dunk versus Excellent Theory of Dunk versus Froyo Tech. Not much to say here. They're playing on propaganda. Froyo should take this 5-0 with potential for a round or two, but that's tonight at 11 p.m. That's all the matches besides the double headers that I'll specify them. So, next one, Edhead versus Space Pirates. That's on Sunshine, and this match shouldn't be too close. There's some potential for it, but this is a must-win for Space Pirates to have any chance of making playoffs this season. And I think it should be a 5-2 for Space Pirates with a bit of upset potential, but Space Pirates should win this. Maybe dropping a few more or a few less rounds. This is the big match that we're having tonight. I'm going to be watching. We voted for it. It was either going to be Cafe Monster versus Ford or Space Pirates versus Not Interested after watching Space Pirates versus Edhead. And Cafe Ford won. So we're going to be watching that one. This should be a really big match. A good match. A replay from earlier in the season where Ford actually took the map off of Cafe. A big upset at that point in time. Ford wasn't looking that great, in my opinion. I didn't think they'd be this good, but they're looking very strong with all these wins. And this match shouldn't affect the playoffs, who makes it, at least between these two teams, but definitely will and should affect playoff seeding. But for this match, I'm going to favor Cafe going into it, and I think Ford definitely stands a chance, and it's not set in stone. Either team could win. The results up in the air, all those things. And I'm just going to go through the class matchups. So for combo scouts or pocket scouts, I'm going to give it to High Five purely because he's a more versatile scout. But if you give Sandblast those heals and put him in the position he loves, where he just has the beam on him and he gets to walk around, take those Uber exchanges, take an aggro Uber, I definitely think it favors him. But I think that High Five overall, as a whole combo scout, I think a bit better. So next one is Flank Scout. This is a big matchup. Both these scouts proving that they've been good at different points in time. Yosh this season proving that he's really, really strong. Before Moo proving she's a really good flank scout and can hold her place in Invite playoffs about 2 seasons ago. And last season, Invite playoffs was kind of a disaster with Moo not being able to join the roster, so they'd speak out. But we're gonna disregard last season. Moo didn't play too much. And I'm going to give the slight edge to Yosh, purely because all the matches he's been having this season where he's popped off against good teams, not even lower invite teams, playoff teams. They got key wins with it. But this is definitely a settling point, a settling match for these two flank scouts, showing who's the better flank scout. But Moo, don't count Moo out. She's had really good performances. Not as good as Yosh, but consistently good performances. And yeah, so last time they met up, I don't have the log on hand, but I looked at it. Yosh had an amazing game going 46-21, and Moo going 29-24 only. That's still a good KD, but in this day and age, it's not enough. You need a little bit better. And she had a pretty good performance, but not good enough. And this was a really close match. It ended up 3-2, and that Yosh performance really brought it home. So I'm giving Yosh the slight edge on the head-to-head. The next one for the Roamers, this is going to be a pretty even matchup in my opinion. I think that this is another statement matchup between the flanks, and this is going to decide who's better than their counterpart. With Garbuglio having some rough games early in the season, especially in their last matchup where he went 11-48 in the 3-2. But even though he had that bad of a game, they still barely lost. It was extremely close. That should be a tell. A little bit of a tell. And I don't think that's going to happen again. I think Garbuglio is too experienced and too good to let that happen 2 times in one season, especially against the same team. He'll find something, I trust. And I think he'll definitely look way better than he did at the beginning of the season and have a pretty good performance. So for pockets, I'm going to... It's kind of the same situation that the Pocket Scout was. where Aim's a more versatile pocket. But Sai, if you put him in his spots, he's really, really good. Taking those Uber exchanges, taking heals, and just being able to just DM fight. In a lot of close fights, Sai wins. If you watch their games, they win a lot of fights they shouldn't, purely because Sai hits a rocket that's just unexpected, gets a surprise kill, gets an important frag, turning the fight in their favor. And I'm probably gonna give a slight edge to Sai, just to how he's been playing this season, really showing that he is one of the best DM players in Invite at the moment. So next matchup, we're gonna go to the demos, and I'm gonna have to give the edge to Delpo. Delpo's still been looking good, consistently good, and Jarrett is pretty inconsistent. I've been saying this for the past few seasons, and he has some games where he doesn't really show up, but he does have some games where he absolutely demolishes. And if this is one of them, Ford should win this, in my opinion. But I'm going to go on the next one. So medics, I'm going to give the edge slightly to Bear, but I don't think either medic really costs their team games. I don't think they take that big of risks where, such as like medics like Skis and slightly Nursey, where they take really big risks a lot of times, and it does pay off, but if it doesn't work out, that could be a round, that could be the map. And they play pretty safe a lot of times. Really good mechanics from Bear, and Zilly plays pretty safe. So I'm going to go. So for the winning condition, in order for Cafe to win, I think that Moo and Garbuglio need to outclass the Ford flank. Because I think that Aim, Delpo, and High Five usually perform pretty consistently. And just well enough where they can be relied upon. They're pretty consistent overall. And they need to pull their weight and show that they are the third best flank in Invite. And if Cafe flank can do this, I wouldn't be surprised with a pretty convincing win. And so for Ford, they're going to be the slight underdog, even though they won the last matchup. It was really close, and Garbuglio had a really rough game. I don't think it's going to happen again. So they need to have some big players from their team. So once again, I think this match is going to be mainly on how Trip and Jarrett play. Because like I said before with Cafe, I think the other four on this team as well are pretty consistent with Yosh, Sai, Moo, or Yosh, and Bear. I think they all play pretty well most of the matches. They're pretty reliable. And I think it's become apparent for Ford that Ford's only as good as Trip and Jarrett do a lot of times. If neither of them play that great, they are probably a little bit below the top 4 level. But if one of the two play well, they are definitely able to match up with Cafe and other playoff teams. But if both of them play well, I don't think we've seen a match where this has happened. But I think they could maybe play a close game, maybe even upset or put up a fight against a team like Ascent. Maybe Froyo, but more likely Ascent. But in the end, I'm going to favor Cafe 5-3 with potential for the match to go anyway. But I'm going to say 5-3 Cafe. So another match tonight. These matches are all tonight, the 5th of June. So so the next one is Scent versus Not Interested. With the Scent still looking very strong, I don't see Not Interested winning this match. But I wouldn't be that surprised if Ascent dropped 2 or 3 rounds, but I'm expecting a 5-1 for Ascent. Pretty strong win on Metalworks, where you've seen Last and Slumnish play really strong. And shouldn't expect too much else. And these are the 2 double headers that are happening tonight. A lot of the matches getting delayed from earlier weeks, and they're making up for it now. So Ford versus Edhead. Yeah, with Edhead playing Space Pirates before this, I think Edhead are less likely to beat Ford than they are Space Pirates. And I think Yosh and Sandblast should just be able to take this home by themselves, with a little bit of help from some other people, but I think they should be able to carry their weight and guide their team to this victory. But the only way I think Edhead probably should win this is if Vaudi, Ghostak, and Ed, 2 of those 3 need to pop off along with one of the soldiers on Edhead. And I think this is going to be a 5-2 for Ford, with potential for a few or less rounds, but I don't think Ford will lose this game. And the next one, if I have time, I'm going to be watching this if the match above ends soon enough. I'll be watching Space Pirates versus Not Interested. Another playoff match, or another match has playoff implications. So this match is the last hope for one of these two teams to get the playoff spot. In my opinion, and whoever loses, I think the playoff run will end with both teams above them, Ford and Cafe, winning the matches against teams that have worse records than them, and only Cafe losing to Ford earlier in the season. And I'm going to preface this with I have no clue what Not Shit's actually going to run for their roster, but last thing I saw was what I put down, which is Corsa Pocket Scout, Ash Flank Scout, Kryptonite Pocket, Patty Roamer, Stock Demo, Ninja Nick Med. But I heard that Patty may play Medic, which I pray that doesn't happen. But onto the class matchups. But now that Corsa has switched on to Combo Scout, I definitely think he's a better Combo Scout than Catface, and could be a really big piece for them to win this match, which is on Granary, if you don't know. And I think he's going to be really important in their win. The next one is for Flank Scout. I'm going to put Shamu above Ash, purely because Shamu plays a Scout a lot more. Shamu's DM's really good, but I think Ash probably has a better idea of how the flank works overall, but I'm still going to give Shamu the edge. And for the roamers, I don't think Patty's bad at roamer, but I hold Rakuso at a way higher place than Patty. So, gonna give it to Rakuso in a slight favor. I already covered this, so I'm gonna be pretty quick on it. I covered it in my last video because I thought it was happening last week, but it's happening this week. So for pockets, gonna give the edge to Kryptonite over Hayes, purely because all the experience he's had, and he's just shown that he's a playoff level pocket and he can do it. This is gonna be a good statement match for Hayes to show that he deserves the spot and invite. But this is the big one I'm looking forward to. The big matchup is Chunky versus Stock. With Stock being hyped up in past seasons, he won invite last season, before was on Kingscrew and is having good match after good match. They beat Mentality. Kingscrew beat Mentality that season, and he was looking like one of the better demos in invite. And this season, he's been looking like a shell of himself, at least from that season. I don't know if it's how the team works, but haven't seen the Kingscrew Stock that I was anticipating this season. And Chunky's still holding a strong form from last season on Hell's Kitchen. I think that he's going to be a big piece for this team if they win this match. And I'm going to put him above Stock. But this match will settle who's the better demo of the two. Lastly, for the medics, I'm going to give the slight favor to Sky over Ninja Nick. But I think either medic could step up or step down, if you that way, and they could be the reason this team wins. Either team wins. But the win condition for Space Pirates is that the combo keeps up with the Not Interested combo, with at least two or three of the 4 players playing well. With all the experience on Not Interested, they need to pull their weight and show that they're still in this match. Because earlier in the season, I definitely would have said Not Interested would win, but looking a lot weaker than they were, than everybody thought earlier in the season. And next, for Not Interested to win, I think that Stock and Ash have good games. Stock needs to show that he's the better demo. Ash needs to hold his ground on Flank Scout and help Patty out. Maybe have some good flank plays, get behind, start some back caps. Because on a map like Granary, if a Scout gets behind and gets a back cap on the other team's second, that could just be game. You can't really stop it. It's kind of hard. If you get the right timing and the rest of your team stops mid, that could be game right there. And overall, I'm going to change my prediction to 4-3 for Not Interested. I think Patty on Roamer is going to help them, especially that they move Patty to Soldier and Corsa to Pocket Scout. I think this is probably one of the best lineups you could have. And Patty on Roamer is going to be a lot more creative. You're going to help them break stalemates, get more creative with off classes, which Space Pirates has shown that they usually rely on the one-man solo plays and sniper. A lot of these stalemates, I think that Not Interested will be able to break these a lot more easily. Especially, I didn't even mention this, but Corsa is going to take a lot of solos in to break stalemates, and they're going to get a lot more aggro. Take more opportunities. That's one thing Not Interested do, is they do more calls on the fly, take advantage of small advantages a lot of times. Even though it may not work out, they do take the chance to try it. So, last match, the only match on Thursday. All the other ones were on Wednesday. This is the only match on Thursday. Space Pirates versus Excellent Theory of Dunk. I'm going to be casting this. And this week has been full of Space Pirate matches that they need to win if they want to make playoffs. and this is no different. With Dunk coming off of a 5-0 run after being down 0-2 versus Edhead, I definitely think they're looking strong, especially on the same map. They're playing Snakewater again. They had a really good job converting their Uber ads and just overall winning the mids and converting the rounds off that. And overall, I think Space Pirates should win, but this match should be close, and I'm going to go with 5-3 for Space Pirates. But for Dunk to win, I think Max, Shiny, and Phone all need to step up once again, with one of the soldiers helping out in Pablo. Hopefully not having any terrible drops, anything like that. I don't think he's had any this season, but you don't want to see that. And for Space Pirates, I think that just overall they need to play well. A few of them, three or four, probably need to play well, with Sky not getting drops like crazy, or some bad drops. Had a few last match that I saw, but one of them was kind of dumb. But yeah, I'm expecting a close match for those, and that's going to be it. I'm going to be streaming these on my Twitch. I'll put it in the description. I'll be live at 11 p.m. tonight and 11 p.m. tomorrow EST. I may start a bit early to watch the Space Pirates Cafe match, just to see how Cafe played overall in their match, given that they're playing Snakewater again. I hope. Okay, yeah, I'll probably watch it tonight if I have time. So, thanks for watching. That's it. I'll see you tonight.